Each day as you travel through Edmond, you've probably seen city vehicles several times, moving from here to there, and some of those vehicles include, well, police cruisers, fire trucks, solid waste trucks, even Edmond electric trucks. You've probably even seen trucks like that one right there that say community image written across the side. Well, each day, code enforcement officers move through Edmond in trucks much like these, making sure that the community stays safe for all of our residents and even looks good as well. Here's more about the city's code enforcement department.
Each day, Edmond's code enforcement officers travel throughout the city, being proactive in their efforts to keep Edmond a healthy, safe, and beautiful community. Their task is to identify violations of city ordinances and state laws within Edmond's city limits. Some of these violations involve public nuisances in neighborhoods. They patrol business districts to ensure that all sign ordinances are being followed. They monitor oil and gas wells, and they check fats, oils, and grease discharges from businesses, making sure these substances don't make their way into the sanitary sewer system. Each year, their staff works approximately 13,000 code cases. Not only have they had success in detecting problems early, then quickly resolving them, but their customer service has been commendable as well. In 2012, their department was presented with the Customer Service Award by the City of Edmond. Often they are contacted by other municipalities around the country about their effective practices. Two of their officers have been honored with the Oklahoma Code Enforcement Officer of the Year. I had an opportunity to speak with Terry Humphrey, one of the recipients of this award. Terry also received the National Code Enforcement Officer of the Year in 2009.
Terry, tell me, how long have you been with code enforcement here in Edmond?
I have been able to serve the citizens of Edmond for over 25 years.
Wow, you've been here a long time, a little while anyway.
A little while.
Tell me a little bit about your job.
Code enforcement is responsible for the health, safety, and welfare of the general public.
Yes.
We try to keep our community neat and clean. Therein lies the name of our department, which is community image. We try to maintain a positive image for our community.
Tell me about some of your challenges.
A lot of our challenges in Edmond is because we are a rapidly growing community.
Okay.
Keeping up with the growth in the new building, we have a lot of issues within that era, and then maintaining the quality of life here in Edmond. We do hold ourselves to a higher standard than a lot of other communities may, because we want our community to be presentable.
Explain proactive in the sense that your department, how they handle being proactive.
A proactive department, we go out on routine patrol and we actively look for violations. We do not sit back and wait for
a call
citizens to call in.
Okay.
We go out and try to avoid that call in.
Okay.
Our citizens deserve the top and the very best service to provide, and by being able to be proactive, we go out and find these things before it becomes a problem. And that way our citizens don't have to get in a neighborhood dispute with each other as well.
Would you mind if I kind of rode along with you and we could just, I guess, ride up the street together?
You're more than welcome to come along.
Great, let's go. Terry, tell me, as we drive around Edmond, what are you looking for right now?
Tall grass, weeds, trash, inoperable vehicles, parking in the yard, or what we affectionately call yard cars. Edmond does have a sealed surface parking ordinance, so that's just some of the main things that we look for. Being proactive, those are usually something that draws us to the property initially. After that, we do pick up all of the violations on the property and work them as a whole.
When you find violations such as motor vehicles either in a yard or inoperative vehicles or whatever the violation might be, you really are trying to be an advocate for the city and to step in and take care of our city so that we don't have to ourselves.
We try to approach code enforcement from an educational standpoint and not do it to someone just because you can. A lot of people may or may not be aware that we have nuisance codes, not only in Edmond but throughout the state of Oklahoma. We send them the notice to let them know that you may not be aware of the violation that you have and that you need to take care of it. Most all the time we are at a 99.97% voluntary compliance rate, which means when the property owner is informed by our office that they automatically take care of it.
Terry wanted to show me a good example of how an abandoned residence has become a public nuisance.
Oh, wow.
Be careful.
Oh, no kidding. So this is actually someone's backyard.
Yeah, this is one of the abandoned houses that we have here that we have to take care of here in town with, and it's actually a repeat violator for us that we have come in and cleaned the property up in the past.
Can you kind of walk me through and tell me what you see at first glance?
First of all, the grass needs to be cut. We are at violation height of 12 inches. And then we would look around within that, the tree limbs that are down on the ground, once they become detached from the tree and fall, they are trashed now. So we have tree limbs that are down in the yard and on the ground. In addition, we have a dilapidated shed in the backyard that will need to be removed. Another thing that we would look for is you have an old tire.
Holding water.
There. And now you have a mosquito harborage that could breed West Nile. We have a fence that's in disrepair.
Not only do you have health violations in this property, but you've got people that live in and around this area that I've noticed some really nice, well-kept homes here. And then you've got this one house that even though this may be in the backyard, it's a health violation and something for other people who live nearby to be concerned over.
Code enforcement is basically about respecting your neighbor, whether it is front yard, the backyard, or anywhere. We want to maintain a neat, clean appearance.
Sometimes this can be, I don't want to say on purpose, but it can be just a matter of simple neglect. And then other times, someone can allow their residence to be in disrepair for other reasons, such as, maybe a person is really, really old and they're not capable of taking care of their property. Talk to me about that just a little bit.
There are situations that happen in people's lives, family illness, a loved one being overseas, a veteran, disability, whether it be financial or physical. Those things happen, and we try to get assistance to those people. Edmond is very blessed to have very large churches that are community-minded, that are willing to have local missions, that when we come across those, we can make a phone call to one of those churches that will put them on a list and try to offer them assistance.
If I wanted to help as a resident of Edmond, are there ways that I can help out?
Yes, there are, and I would encourage you to call our office at 359-4793. We may or may not have a project at that time, but we try to match the appropriate volunteer with the appropriate project. Some are different. We have anything that ranges maybe from the little old lady that's home alone that might need just some visitation from a women's mission group, to someone that just needs general yard cleanup. So we try to match the appropriate volunteer with the appropriate situation.
Great. Terry, listen, I think we've got a good grasp of code enforcement and the things that you do for us. It's interesting to see how much help that you really do offer the city and the residents. Terry, thank you very much. I appreciate the time. Well, you've probably noticed the work going on in downtown Edmond lately. Behind me once stood the old administration building, but this site is going to look a lot different very soon. Construction will be taking place on this corner of First and Littler. And if everything goes as planned, the new Public Safety Center will be located here, ready for business, May of 2015. In the meantime, there's going to be a lot of construction going on, and that means it could affect how you get around and how you come to the city's facilities in downtown.
The construction for the Public Safety Center will take approximately 21 months. With its large footprint on the southeast corner of First Street and Littler Avenue, there is a need to utilize other downtown areas in and around the construction site.
In association with that development, we need places in town to put our storage of equipment and supplies while that building is being constructed.
One area is just north of the downtown community center. Also behind the City First building, the land has been cleared to hold supplies and equipment. That site will also be used to place the geothermal heating and cooling wells for the Public Safety Center. When the construction is complete, those areas will be converted into parking lots. In the meantime, parking may be an issue in the area while construction is going on.
There will be times that streets have to be closed, primarily on First Street between what was the old administration building and the courthouse. That area will be closed, or at least one lane of traffic will be closed at different times during the construction, because the building line goes literally right up to the street in terms of activities that are in terms of sidewalks and other construction. So they don't have a large area to work with for construction. So there will be times that street will be closed, and then Littler will probably be closed for large times during the construction of the building.
Parking will definitely be a challenge while construction is going on, but there are areas available to the public. To the east of the courthouse and the Public Works building is public parking. There is also a parking lot located just north of the downtown community center. On court days, if those lots become full, there is other parking available on the west side of Broadway in areas like the Festival Marketplace.
We're going to encourage people to use the Festival Market area. There's also other parking lots near our 7 North Broadway facility where our administrative offices and utility building are, to park over in that area.
The city is also planning to store some of their company vehicles on other vacant property owned by the city. For example, the old animal shelter is being demolished, so that area can be converted to a lot for city vehicles. Those vehicles that are usually parked at the downtown community center will be moved to the newly converted lot.
So we're going to hopefully relieve some pressure on some of the parking that we're currently using downtown, so that'll allow us more spaces for when there's court activities downtown.
Even with these changes, however, there will be times when visitors and employees may have to walk more than they're used to. That could be a good thing, though.
Just think of it as a healthy opportunity to get some exercise in downtown. We like to keep downtown attractive, so enjoy the statues and the greenery we have downtown. We try to make it a pleasant place for people to come, and the challenges that we face with parking are minor compared to much larger cities that people have to go much farther distances to find parking.
Well, that's our show. If you'd like to find out more about the topics we discussed, there is a plethora of information on the city's website, edmondok.com. Plus, there's a really cool feature that allows you to see the Public Safety Center as it goes up. Just go to the city's homepage, and on the left, scroll over Current Projects, and then click on Public Safety Center. Read about the project and click on the live streaming link to see the construction daily. There's also a shortcut. Just visit edmondok.com/PSC Live. I'm Eric Smith, and I'll see you next time on another episode of Your Edmond.